Deep beneath the parched sands of Egypt, a cache of ancient scrolls remained undisturbed for nearly 2 millennia. When unsuspecting laborers struck ceramic vessels in 1945, they unleashed a storm that threatened to dismantle the foundations of Western theology. These codices contain voices long silenced, offering a radical departure from the established path of faith. What exactly were the custodians of history so desperate to suppress? As we examine these brittle pages, the true nature of this suppressed spiritual rebellion finally emerges from darkness. Beneath the shifting dunes of the Egyptian desert, a silence spanning nearly 2 millennia was shattered by a singular, accidental discovery. This was not merely the unearthing of fragile papyri. It was the violent collision between buried truth and the rigid structures of institutional faith. As we analyze these texts, we observe the fragile remnants of a spiritual path that existed long before the consolidation of the canon we recognize today. These manuscripts offer a perspective where the divine is found not in obedience to a hierarchy, but through an internal, profound awakening. This discovery invites us to reconsider the mechanisms of historical erasure and the fierce determination required to maintain an official narrative. Why did the early architects of the faith perceive these scrolls as an existential threat to their emerging power? As we peel back the layers of antiquity, we examine the tension between the radical intimacy of the gnosis and the collective drive toward structural uniformity. This investigation reveals the complex reality of a fragmented past, where the survival of a single scroll represents a defiance of absolute authority. How does the presence of these forbidden voices fundamentally alter our perception of the formative centuries of our shared spiritual history? Hidden for 16 centuries beneath the harsh Egyptian sun, the cache appeared not by design but by raw, chaotic chance near the cliffs of Jabal al-Tarif. Laborers digging for sabak, a nitrate-rich fertilizer, shattered a heavy jar to reveal 13 leather-bound papyrus codices that would soon ignite an academic firestorm. We observe the remnants of a library that was never meant to surface, buried during a time when possessing such literature invited immediate persecution by the rising imperial church. Analyzing the condition of these fragile pages, we discover that they were carefully wrapped and interred, likely by monks from a nearby monastery seeking to protect their prohibited intellectual history from the destructive purges of the late 4th century. The soil had become a vault for voices that spoke of a radical, interior divinity. As we examine the physical evidence, it becomes clear that this was not merely a collection of books. It was a desperate, clandestine archive of an alternative spiritual reality that had been systemically erased from public memory. Every brittle leaf of papyrus acts as a silent witness to a conflict that transcended simple theological disagreement, representing a profound, existential threat to the centralized power of the Mediterranean world. If these documents had remained undiscovered, the true nature of this early, diverse, and fractured spiritual landscape might have stayed forever veiled behind the singular narrative of an emerging, militant orthodoxy. We must ask ourselves if the silence surrounding these texts was a natural byproduct of history or a calculated strategic maneuver by those who sought to hold the monopoly on truth. We peer deep into the ecclesiastical structure of the 4th century, a pivotal era where imperial power and institutional faith began to merge under the heavy influence of Nicaea. We observe that these manuscripts do not merely ignore the rigid hierarchy, they openly challenge the very premise of salvation delegated through bishops. While the official dogma consolidated its absolute authority through strict canons, the Coptic material suggests a path that is fundamentally different. Divinity, in these texts, is not a distant entity that dictates immutable laws through intermediaries, but a vital spark present within every individual. By analyzing this divergence, we discover a theology of personal awakening, where the gnosis acts as the singular key required to transcend the crushing limitations of the material plane. The bishops of that era did not just combat minor doctrinal errors, they actively sought to eradicate a conception of existence where the massive institution was deemed irrelevant. The evidence within these codices reveals a decentralized spirituality that directly threatened the monopoly over the interpretation of the sacred. Each line of these recovered parchments acts as a stark reminder that the current orthodoxy was not a natural choice, but a construction forged after centuries of debates where dissident voices were progressively marginalized. By contrasting these visions, we realize that what we today accept as absolute truth was merely one of the many possibilities that fought to define the spirit. When we confront this void in the official records, we must question whether we are witnessing the deliberate removal of an alternative path that offered genuine liberation from the chains of absolute, unquestioned authority. Ancient decrees echo through the corridors of time, signaling the precise moment when the custodians of the faith decided to prune the tree of history. We analyze the severe mandates issued by the bishops of Alexandria, who viewed these unauthorized manuscripts not merely as theological errors, but as dangerous catalysts of chaos. These leaders possessed a singular, unwavering mission: to unify a scattered belief system under one absolute, immovable banner. Any text that preached an interior, mystical realization was labeled heretical, a direct defiance against the burgeoning institutional hierarchy. By examining the historical record, we find the meticulous strategy employed to gather and incinerate these scrolls, effectively scrubbing them from the collective memory of the Mediterranean world. This was a systematic purge, a calculated effort to ensure that only the orthodox narrative would survive the crucible of the 4th century. The papyri found in the desert were the lucky survivors of a campaign that sought to homogenize the human spirit by silencing the whispers of a more intimate connection to the divine. We observe the remnants of this destruction, realizing that the absence of these documents in mainstream history is the primary indicator of their immense, disruptive power. The scarcity of these forbidden writings is not a coincidence of time, but the direct result of a policy that favored total conformity over the diversity of ancient spiritual thought. By stripping away these voices, the architects of orthodoxy established a singular reality, leaving behind a profound silence that speaks volumes about their fear of the unknown truths that these scrolls dared to contain. Gilded dunes conceal secrets that defy the traditional cosmic architecture established by the hierarchies of late antiquity. We observe within the texts of Thomas and Philip a metaphysical construction where the visible universe is merely a distorted shadow of a superior reality. This dualism is not merely an academic curiosity but a technical map for the liberation of the spirit trapped within coarse matter. By analyzing the passages where the awakening is described, we discover that the ascent toward celestial spheres requires transcending the control structures imposed upon the earth. The evidence remains compelling because the authors of these manuscripts did not seek to reform the institution, but to bypass it entirely to access a dimension of pure knowledge. While orthodoxy attempted to solidify its influence through dogmatic laws, these writings proposed a fluidity unattainable for any centralized authority. By examining the technical terms utilized in these codices, we notice that the language employed attempts to describe states of consciousness that conventional logic struggles to dismiss as mere heretical fantasy. The narrative tension emerges upon understanding that each phrase acts as a vibratory frequency designed to guide the initiate out of the physical plane labyrinth. We stand before a cartography of the soul that was categorized as dangerous precisely because it offered absolute spiritual sovereignty to the individual, eliminating the need for intermediaries. This discrepancy between institutional dogma and Gnostic mysticism reveals an unbridgeable fracture at the base of our civilization, suggesting that the history we recognize is merely a monologue imposed upon a symphony of dissident voices that were desperately trying to awaken. Vast networks of regional faith communities once flourished across the Mediterranean, each holding unique interpretations of the divine that predated the rigid uniformity we now consider traditional. We observe that these early expressions were not anomalies, but the standard practice of a movement finding its own voice amidst diverse cultural influences. By examining the scattered remnants of these traditions, we discover that the path to a singular orthodox doctrine was paved by the systematic elimination of rival theological frameworks. The evidence suggests that for 300 years, the identity of the faith remained fluid, characterized by a vibrant spectrum of thought that the burgeoning institution eventually found intolerable. While historical accounts often focus on the victory of a specific council, the reality found within these fragments reveals a landscape defined by fierce competition and diverse philosophical currents. We see that the narrowing of this spiritual horizon was a tactical necessity for a rising power structure that required absolute doctrinal control to secure its own authority. Each manuscript discovered in the desert represents a lost branch of this original, sprawling tree, cut away to force a singular growth pattern upon the believers of the world. The act of gathering these texts was not merely a scholarly pursuit, but a desperate attempt by competing factions to redefine the past to justify their exclusive claim to the future. As we scrutinize these disparate records, we realize that the modern belief system is a curated construct, built upon the ruins of a complex, fragmented reality that once offered humanity a far wider range of sacred possibilities than official narratives admit. The air within the chamber grows thin as we approach the final confrontation between the institutional might and the singular, defiant spirit of the gnosis. We observe the bishops of the 4th century, their authority trembling before the realization that their meticulously crafted doctrine could vanish with a single, authentic revelation from the buried codices. This is the moment where the gears of imperial control grind against the raw, unpolished truth of the interior awakening. As the flames consume the scrolls, we perceive not just the destruction of ink and papyrus, but a violent assault on the very possibility of individual transcendence. Why did the architects of this faith deem it necessary to silence these voices with such finality? The tension spikes as the orthodoxy attempts to seal the tomb of dissent forever, yet the mere existence of these fragments proves their absolute failure. We are witnessing the ultimate gamble, a collision between the collective need for certainty and the terrifying, liberating promise of the unknown. As the smoke clears, the silence that follows is not one of total victory, but of a lingering, haunting doubt that refuses to be extinguished by fire. The conflict forces us to confront the reality that our entire foundation rests upon a fragile, curated piece, forged in the heat of a total spiritual purge. We are left suspended at the edge of the abyss, staring into a past that was systematically dismantled to ensure our own ignorance. Was this calculated erasure the only way to solidify a singular, unwavering path through the chaos of human existence, or have we been living in a curated illusion of truth? The unearthed scrolls remain a defiant anomaly, shattering the illusion of a monolithic spiritual history. By examining these fragile remnants, we recognize that the suppression of these texts was not a simple ecclesiastical correction but a desperate act to preserve a singular, fragile narrative of power. The erasure failed. Instead of vanishing, these voices from the desert now force a confrontation with a complex past that was systematically dismantled. We are left to wonder how many other currents of human thought were discarded to construct the reality we currently inhabit. The silence that once protected the orthodoxy now serves only to highlight its greatest insecurity. By reclaiming this knowledge, we break the cycle of forced conformity and finally witness the diverse, untamed landscape of our shared origin. The path toward truth is rarely straight, and these scrolls prove that the most profound insights are often those deemed the most dangerous to preserve. True knowledge isn't given, it is earned by those who seek it. This channel is for the thinkers, the curious, and those who demand more from history than just dates. If you are one of them, subscribe. Let's claim our intellectual heritage.